What's going on, friends? Back again in the shop. Today is a very special day for me. As I've said, I have recently been driving a turbocharged vehicle. First time I've actually owned a turbocharged vehicle. And I hate it. I hate it. I got so many questions. But today, specifically, since I've changed the oil, I want to know what makes this oil filter so special. So let's get into it. So I had to take out the filter so I could see, try to find out what's the number, part number, has look, does it have any specific, is it made different from other filters? So I did that. I put the filter back in, went to the auto parts store, and I ended up getting the wrong filter. This is the filter that I got. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe they did an update. I don't know too much about turbochargers because they had like 3 different filters. I told the man what I had, and he gave me what was popular. But it turns out this is not the filter. So I had to do some more digging, some more research. Why is this one so popular? And yet it's not the one for, it is the one for the engine, but not for my particular trim of vehicle. I didn't know there was a difference, but yeah, I learned some stuff this year. So my Ecotec turbocharged engine comes in 2 different flavors. 3 actually. One is a canister filter. The other 2 are paper filters. And there's it's called a UFI. I forget what the other one is called. It starts with an H. But this one, well constructed. Got the little core in there to keep it from collapsing. I ran this for a while. Actually, I ran it for a couple of hours. It wasn't sounding right. It started tapping. I'm like, man, let me take this out and just put the old one back in there. That's what I'll do. So I goes and leave this one in there. I left this one in there. Took a picture of this one, put it back in there, and went back to the store to see about getting this exact same model. Evidently, there is a difference. Ooh, it's dirty. It might be from my hands. So I wanted to know what makes this so different. Why is it that I specifically have to have this one as opposed to having this one? Well, the answer to that question is in the oil assembly. The oil filter assembly has a tube, and this tube provides suction for the bypass. That's what this is. It's their version of a new school bypass valve. Whereas on the older engines like 2012 up to I believe 2016, I might be off a little bit, it had a little tab on the end and you just sit it down in there screw the top on, and forget about it. But no, not on this one. Not this time. The tube has a plunger on it. If you have the plunger, then you can use the open end one. Just slide it down on top of it, and it has its own bypass. With this one, it has a tube, but the tube doesn't have a plunger on it. The plunger is actually on the filter. However, this one is the most popular one. Right off the bat, this is the one that they're going to sell you unless you specifically ask for this one. The one with the spring on it. It's a UFI. I'm trying to remember, what did I ask him for? I told him it was a Buick Preferred. He said, is it preferred too? I said, yeah, it's a preferred too. So, you got the UFI. UFI. So I'm like, that's weird. I knew I was going to forget, so few months later, well, I should say a few weeks later, I bought another one. I went back. This time I went to a different outlet. I went to a different store. And they asked me the same crazy questions about what trim level, first of all, I want to ask, do you really think it makes a difference what trim level? Why do you think manufacturers would put specifications on the trim level? Oh, well, if you got this trim level, you need this filter. If you got that trim level, you need that filter. Because that's the engine classification. That's the classification for the engine that we put in there. But all of them have turbos. So why is all of them have different... They have different filters. This is just two of them. And like I said, there's a third one. It's a canister filter. But what I want to know, what I really want to know is, what's so special about it? Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to open this bad boy up. I didn't want to hit the camera, so I started this thing. Oh crap. This little plastic frame inside is pretty sturdy. I almost took my eye out. I still can't get this thing on. Now I'm just trying to get the daggone paper. You know, I got another filter, so I ain't even worried about destroying this thing. What the heck? So because I'm having a hard time dismantling this, do you think that is a testament to the quality of this filter? And the one that I'm tearing up is a GM filter. I believe it's a GM filter. No, it's not a GM filter. The one that I'm tearing up is actually a Wix filter. Yeah. Wix filters. I've used Wix filters in the past, and I haven't had any problems, any issues with them. I did my oil filter torture test, and it wasn't the top performing filter, but it was up there. The Wix XP was better. So was the Mobile One. And of course the Freedom Titanium. Oh. I still can't see in there, but yeah, it's got a little framework inside, keep it from collapsing in on you. Let you get a couple of extra miles out of it. But then some people say if you change it every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, you shouldn't have any major problems anyway. Hardly any. It wasn't a clean tear, that's for sure. It looks a little shiny, but I think that's just from the oil. Not that it's got any. It feels kind of sandy though, in spots, not all over. But that's the one that I wasn't supposed to get. That was the I can't think of the name of it, but it's not the UFI. They're like, oh well, when you come back to get your next filter, make sure you remember which one it is, because they've got different filters. It's like, really? Oh, that's nice. They got different filters. Son of a... This is the one that I'm supposed to have. This is the one that you can't just go in there and get. They'll give you the one without the spring on it, on the top. So, this one I can almost squeeze it. Ooh, ouch. As you can see, there is no backing to this. Man. No backing whatsoever. It just twists and twists, but it's got some rigidity to it. It definitely has some rigidity to it. Dang. I've tore up some filters before, but never had this hard a time. These newer style engines operate at such a high temperature. These filters have to be constructed so that they last. Okay. This is starting to irk me. Okay. Oop, my finger's in the way. Sorry about that. So, but I don't see what the significance is. And I'll tell you why I feel that way. Here's my issue. My particular style turbocharged engine takes a filter like this. Now the bypass is supposed to allow oil to go through here if the outside of the filter gets clogged up. So that little attachment inside the oil filter assembly sucks this down, and then the fluid comes through there. But there's not much room, So I'm not understanding if it's supposed to be a bypass, how much oil is actually getting in there. There's barely enough for air to go through there, and you're talking about a liquid thinner than air, which would mean what? Off the top of my head, I'm thinking you'd have to have a thinner oil in order to get it to actually bypass the filter and go through here. Okay, all right. Now we're getting somewhere with the destruction. Let's see. Okay, a little core piece. So this little plunger comes down, and then the oil is supposed to come. The oil is supposed to come through here. Now this hole by itself would be big enough. I mean, if it were to ever plug up, then the oil can go straight through here. But the thing is, the thing I don't understand is, if this is lodged in this hole and it comes down, granted, the top part of this is actually a little bit smaller, just a little bit smaller than the bottom part. So, ouch, I ripped my glove. Oh well. All in the name of science. But anyway, so that's a little bit smaller than the base of this plunger. This side sticks up in there. Doesn't come all the way down, just comes down enough to let the oil go through. But how? The 530, in my case, it takes 530. So 530 goes in. Let's say the filter actually does get all dirtied up and you can't get anything else in there. That plunger gets depressed and the oil comes through there. How much oil is going through this hole with this piece in there? How much oil? That's what I'm not understanding. Somebody in the comments say something. If you understand how these specialized turbocharged oil filters are supposed to work, let me know, because I'm trying to figure this out. Because it seems to me you're not going to get that much oil through there, and your engine is going to suffer from oil starvation. Maybe not long term, but yeah, I don't, is it really filtering? Because like I said, I changed the oil already, and I'm still getting tapping. That it's lowered since the tapping first started. It did go down some, but it's still there. So what I'm going to try next is fuel system treatment. I believe somebody said online, they said to use the complete fuel system cleaner. That's what it was. So I double checked it with a couple of other people that I follow on YouTube, and that's what they said as well. Make sure it's the fuel system, complete fuel system cleaner. Now, outside of that, I really want to know just how much oil is supposed to pass through there. Should I drop down to a 520? Or maybe I need to use a 030 or a 020. I'm not sure, but I'll keep you guys posted. Till then, I'm going to clean up my mess. I'll see you out on the road.